Ahead on the Tiger Basketball Report, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Tigers men's basketball team, Pat Scarry, and discuss the Tigers' 2 games this past week against Alabama and Morgan State. Get ready, the Tiger Basketball Report begins now. Hello, Tiger Nation, and welcome to the Towson Sports Network studios for the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm the voice of the Tigers, Spiro Morekas, and joined as always by head coach Pat Scarry. Coached the Tigers last week, 2 games, against Alabama on Friday and then against Morgan State on Monday. The Alabama game not going the way you wanted. The Morgan State game did go the way you wanted it to go. But let's go back to Alabama. This was a game where the Crimson Tide and you were in a nip-and-tuck battle until the last couple of minutes of the first half. Then Alabama was able to take a 9-point lead into halftime. As you went into the half, what were you looking at from your team?
Well, we didn't take care of the basketball the entire game. 22 turnovers that led to 34 points off turnovers. So, we didn't do it early. I didn't think we did it late, and we eventually paid the price. It was close early, though, because we were able to kind of use some physicality and score around the basket and get to the foul line. And then obviously we got away from that. But we were concerned about turnovers going into the game. We were concerned about it at the halftime, and ultimately led to our demise. Yeah, last year you only had 1 game of more than 20 turnovers, and that was against Villanova, a game that you also lost. This time you had the 22 against Alabama, but it seemed like the second half was worse than the first half, and that they were pressuring you, and you weren't able to get the ball over midcourt at times. Yeah, there is no, we say all the time, there is no defense when you hand it directly to the other team. If there is one, call in, send it to us. We'd like to have it, and those are they're just tough turnovers. I think in any sport, if you cough up the basketball, it just minimizes your chances to score. We told our guys we had 66 possessions in the game. Right off the bat, we lost 22 of them. Not only had the ball 44 times, you have to shoot such a high percentage to have a chance, and we're probably not built that way to do that. The other problem you have was Tomas Parker-Rivera gets into early foul trouble. How did that affect your rotation for the ball game? It's part of the game. You're on the road, but he's a veteran guy that's helped us win a lot of games. And I think in early road games, you're going to rely on your veteran guys to help carry you through. And it just wasn't his night. But we should be deep enough where it's got to be the next man up. And we didn't have a lot of guys play to their ability. That's a credit to Alabama. It's a good club. It's been a really good home club, and that they proved it again on Friday. Yeah, they were undefeated at home last year. Well, actually, they were 13-4 at home. They didn't win a road game last year, so all their victories coming at home. Then you move on to Morgan State on Monday night. What did you do with the team from Friday night, got back to Towson early on Saturday morning? What did you do with the team to get ready for Morgan? Well, we actually did a lot of that old probably grade school stuff. We played 5 versus 7 a lot, trying to get the ball up the floor and just, it's – you got to meet passes, you got to catch in face, you got to be strong with the basketball, just those type of things. Especially on the road, I think it's easier at times to be calm and poised when you're at home. And but I think the kids, to their credit, just did a good job. We were better with the ball. We took care of the ball in a hostile environment Monday night. How much the 22 turnovers in Game 1? How much of that was the fact that Josh Ivory and Byron Hawkins, brand new to the team, had not played in a Towson uniform before? I mean, it's possible. They turn the ball over, other guys turn the ball over, but we tell our guys all the time, they don't give you any bonus points because you're new or it's your first game or anything like that. I mean, it's once it goes up, you got to be ready to play. And we were more probably disappointed, the kids were, and us as a staff, just just a lot of stuff we've drilled on a daily basis that we had poor carryover against Alabama, and I think that'll be the last time we see that. So how did they react when you played 5-on-7 in practice? First it's because there's 5 guys up the floor picking up 2 or 3 guards. It's where do you go? And sometimes you just got to figure it out. That's when you get on the road, you're playing good teams. Players got to make plays. You got to figure some things out. And that's kind of what I thought hurt us against Alabama. When they finally had a run, and good teams going to do that, we didn't figure it out. We continued to turn over. We got poor shot selection, and that leads to you getting run out of the gym. Whereas when that does happen, that's when you got to get even tighter. your execution's got to be really, really good, and that allows you to withstand some of those runs. But you got to play some of these type of games to grow and get better, especially when you have a newer group.
Right. Now, you go into Morgan on Monday night. It was a hostile environment, almost 4,000 people at Hill Fieldhouse. Was really a nip-and-tuck basketball game throughout. Obviously, that's what you expected going in.
Yeah, we know they're a good team. That's why they've won their league the last, 5 years. They've been in their league championship game. And it was a great environment. I was impressed with the job they did over there. And, like you said, 4,000 people in there. And I thought what was good is we didn't make free throws and we couldn't make a three-point shot, but we still found a way to win. And we did that because we guarded and rebounded it and took care of the basketball. That's a winning formula. I think eventually the ball's going to go in the basket, but those other things have to be a staple night in, night out.
You also made a move midway through the second half where you put For McGlynn at the point. What was behind that strategy?
He does take care of the basketball. He's maybe not as dynamic or explosive with it, but he's always been a 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover guy, and he's a guy that, once again, you rely on your veterans. He's helped us win a lot of games, and that's why we did that. And I think playing bigger, and we played guys at the two guard that are 6'5", 225 for us, and Astroff and Eddie Keith, and playing bigger and more physical was beneficial to us on that night.
It certainly worked as the Tigers picked up their first victory. We have to come to our first break, but when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the Tigers, old and new, who had nice performances against both Alabama and Morgan State. The Tiger Basketball Report returns after these words.
Virtual Wallet can help you be that person who's good with money. See what's free to spend, move money with a slide, save with a shake. Feel good about your decisions.
Brian Vickers, Aaron's sponsored driver. He doesn't just love racing, he lives it.
We got the paper! Woo!
His pit crew follows him everywhere. Oddly, so does his boss.
Right, sign that. Yeah!
And his passion for racing is rivaled only by his passion for errands.
No credit needed. I'll take it.
Woo!
Congrats.
Aaron's makes owning easy through lease ownership, so you can own the life you want.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome back to the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm Spiro Morekas, joined by the head coach of the Towson Basketball team, Pat Scarry. And Coach, one guy that Tiger fans know about, they're going to see a lot of new faces when they come to CQ Arena this year, but one guy they know about from last year is For McGlynn. For did exactly what everybody knows he can do against Alabama, 5 for 10 from three-point range, and then on Monday night against Morgan, 8 for 8 from the free throw line, and basically clinched the ball game for you with his perfect free throw shooting on Monday night. When you look at this guy, how many hours of practice do you think he has spent to become the shooter that he is?
Oh, a lot. There's no question. He's one of those guys who gets the gym in the backyard and the hoops and all that stuff. And he's He's got good hand-eye coordination. He's blessed with the ability to shoot the ball. I think the good thing about the first couple games is he's shown he's been more than just a weapon. That's been something we've been preaching to him. Okay, we know you can shoot the ball, but can you be a guy? He got 5 rebounds against Alabama. He took care of the ball against Morgan. Like those are things. Like I said, when you have a veteran guy, he's got to help you make winning plays, and he certainly did that. And all his points against Morgan came in the second half. He didn't score a point in the first half, so I thought he was patient. He didn't hunt shots.
Yeah, I think he only took 1 shot in the first half.
Yeah, well, no, he got a push-off foul. He hunted one, and that wasn't good. But he's doing a good job. He's practicing that way. I'm a big believer in if you practice pretty well, I think eventually it kind of goes your way in games. And so he's been kind of staying the course. And we're going to lean on him a lot this year, whether he's at the 2 or the 1. And
you look, and you've got new guys, and 4 is only here in his second year playing, but he's actually been here 3 years because he had to sit out a season. So he is a veteran of this ball club.
Yeah, and don't forget, he played the NCAA tournament. He was Vermont's leading scorer on the NCAA tournament team. So he's got unfortunately, there's nothing that kind of replaces game experience, and he has some of it, so you're going to lean on him for it.
Then you look at the rest of the team against Alabama and against Morgan. Alex Gavrilovic had a great game against Alabama with 14 points. Then he got a little banged up in the Morgan game, was unable to contribute a whole lot, but he off to a good start, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he's a weapon for us. I mean, he had 15 against Alabama. He got hurt against Morgan. He's fine. We just didn't go back to him. It's one of those Charlie horses that today they have all kinds of different names for it, and it tightened up on him. But he'll have a good year for us. I think like a lot of transfers and transfers I think have been really helpful to us. He was on an Elite 8 team last year. I think just being around that environment is that's the type of culture you want to have with your guys. And he's a weapon for us. He can shoot. He can post. He's 6'10", 245. He'll be a factor, I think, in our conference for us.
You also, the 2 guys that last year were banged up, Walter Foster and John Davis. John had a double-double against Alabama on Friday night, and Walter was a big factor in the Morgan game on Monday.
Yeah, I think in any program, usually that first to second year guys make the biggest jump, and those guys have been around for a year now. They're healthy. Their bodies have changed. They're both good players. They're big, strong, physical guys, and they're wired the right way too. They're tough, and it might not always aesthetically look pleasing with them, but they get the job done. I'm really happy with where those 2 guys are at right now.
Another guy who's aesthetically not pleasing to watch, but he played well against Morgan, and that's Eddie Keith.
Yeah, Eddie's got a chance to be good. He's got to learn how to practice at a high level every day, and sometimes we tell him he looks like he's running downhill on offense. So he's got to, there is no downhill on offense, but it's just like I think. He's got to learn to play on the defensive side of the floor, but he's really gifted with the basketball. He's a very good passer. He's a big guard. He's 6'5", 225. I think I told you before, he came in this summer at like 246 pounds. He was not in shape. He's worked really hard at it, and we haven't had a backcourt guy that was as strong as him with the basketball since I've been here. He's got a chance to be really good. He made some really, really big plays for us. I mean, we went to him the last 3 or 4 possessions on the road, his second game, so he's got to stay the course and keep working, but he's got a chance to be a good player.
You look at your first 2 games, and you've played 11 guys. You basically have 10 guys that you're rotating in and out throughout the ball game. Where do you stand in your rotation? Do you like the fact that you're using 10 guys? Is that something you may want to cut down as the season goes on, or you think this is the way it's going to be all year?
I think a strength of our team, if we're going to be as good as we think we can be, is our depth. I think it's, we've got to continue to get our guys to understand that, when you win, everybody gains. And we're going to need everybody to win. At times, we didn't play many guys. We only played 7 guys, but obviously guys knew the ball was going to Jarrell, and they just kind of played off that. This is going to be a group that I think for us to have success, we hit you with 5 or 6 guys getting 8 to 12 points. There's a lot of ways to win in a lot of different sports. But I think it's more the buy-in factor. The chemistry's got to be good, and people got to understand it's about winning. I thought the guys were really good after the game Monday night. Even a couple guys that maybe didn't get their number called as much as they might have liked, and that's going to be the key moving forward.
Obviously, it keeps everybody involved. They know that any given night, they could be the guy that gets 28, 32 minutes per ball game. I guess during practice, that keeps everybody else in tune at the same time, does it not?
Yeah, I think keeps practices competitive. I think we've got to do a really good job, especially myself as a staff. Like, we talk a lot about football. Like, for us, like, what's our package of sets going into certain games? Who do we like? Why do we like them? Where can we get our shots from? So we're trying to manufacture offense like that. And then I told you before, we spend a lot of time on analytical stuff, and we're trying to look at, are we having more success with certain lineups on the floor versus other type of lineups? And we've got to quickly, eventually kind of mold that a little bit better. We don't get the 82 games they get in the NBA. We get hopefully mid-30s. So we got to continue to do a good job with that.
And they're going to get 3 games real quick this weekend. Coming up on the other side of this break, we'll break down the Tigers matchup as they will play 3 games this weekend against Central Connecticut State, Bethune-Cookman, and Monmouth University. Sit tight. The Tiger Basketball Report returns right after these words.
Virtual Wallet can help you be that person who's good with money. See what's free to spend, move money with a slide, save with a shake. Feel good about your decisions.
Brian Vickers, Aaron's sponsored driver. He doesn't just love racing, he lives it.
We got the paper! Woo!
His pit crew follows him everywhere. Oddly, so does his boss.
Red, sign that! Yeah!
And his passion for racing is rivaled only by his passion for errands.
No credit needed. I'll take it.
Woo!
Congrats.
Aaron's makes owning easy through lease ownership, so you can own the life you want.
You'll find it on the sidewalks of Little Italy and on the porches in Catonsville. You can see it when friends meet in Mount Vernon. It's pride. Pride in our city, pride in our people. That's why MedStar Health is building the most accessible healthcare system in the region to look after everyone from Lutherville to Locust Point. So no matter where you go, no matter who you are, you're never far from MedStar.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and is locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome back to the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm Spiro Morekas alongside the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry. And Coach, this will be an interesting weekend for the Tigers as you will play 3 games in 3 days at Monmouth University. You open up on Friday at 5 p.m. against Central Connecticut State, then on Saturday at 5 p.m. against Bethune-Cookman, and then on Sunday against the host school, Monmouth, at 4:30. How does this help you down the road?
Well, I mean, a couple things. One, the players want to play games. They don't want to listen to me. I can tell you that. It is similar to when you get in the conference tournament, though. You have quick turnaround. So I think these are really good experiences for our group to grow and opportunities to win basketball games. As far as preparation, we've solely have focused on Central Connecticut. That's the next game. That's the biggest game. Howie Dickerman's won a lot more games than I have. He's been a very successful head coach, and they have an explosive perimeter trio and a couple of warriors inside. So we're focusing on that, and then it'll be a quick turnaround before Bethune and Monmouth. But it's it's a long weekend work-wise, but it's fun.
You get the game against Central Connecticut State. You play, and I'm assuming that you'll have your coaches watching Bethune-Cookman play on Friday, so that they can get a scouting report together. Because again, in 22 hours after your game ends, you're going to be on the court against Bethune-Cookman.
No, it's a great point. We will live scout. Coach Clark has a Central Connecticut scout. Coach Shingler has Bethune. Coach McCarthy has Monmouth. So those other guys they're away from the team watching those live games. And then once it's once Central's over, we'll come back and feed our guys. They'll get their treatment, and then we'll have film walkthrough that night for Bethune. And then obviously the next morning we will have shoot around where we'll walk through Bethune stuff again. We won't do a lot of live shooting because we want fresh legs. And then we'll have film at breakfast and at lunch. And obviously for myself that night, because I won't have seen any Bethune tape, once we send the guys to bed, myself and Coach Shingle will watch a couple of Bethune tapes, and I'll try to bang out a couple more before the game.
How much more difficult is it? You're playing three schools that Towson has not played in years. They used to be in the East Coast Conference with Central Connecticut State. They've only played Bethune-Cookman once. They've only played Monmouth once. How much more difficult is it to scout than, say, when you get to the CAA tournament and you're scouting a team that you've already played twice?
Yeah, it's tricky. We're relying on trying to get tapes, watching tapes last year, a couple of their games this year. Can we get some scout reports? Most schools in conference won't exchange. They have conferences where you can't exchange information. We're trying to look at analytics, some phone work. So, but we have a really good staff. We put a premium on scouting and preparation, so you try to do the best you can.
The Tigers playing these three games, and this is part of the Alabama game, correct? This is part of that big tournament that ends up
CBE exempt
in Kansas City, I think?
Yep.
How did Towson get involved in this?
Well, they approached us about it. I always want to play in exempt tournaments, try to play the maximum 31 games. For people that don't know, you can either play 29 games or you can play 27 games plus an exempt tournament. And an exempt tournament can be 2, 3, or 4 games. We've chosen to try to always play philosophically a 4-game exempt to get the maximum amount of games. And we were approached on it. It kind of fit our schedule and our needs for this year,
right.
And so we took it.
Does it? One of the reasons you take a tournament like this is because you have a young team, and it's a way to really get to know these guys over a 3-day period,
yeah.
And see how they react to play day after day after day.
Absolutely, and we really wanted to schedule a tough opener, which obviously we did, and get tested right away, expose some things we need to get better at.
And then you'll come home finally to CQ Arena a week next Wednesday when you take on Goucher the day before Thanksgiving. I'm sure you and all your players are looking forward to get on the floor that you practice on.
Yeah, we would love to play as many games as possible here. I think that's something that myself and my boss, Tim Leonard, are in agreement on. We've got and I think this, I'm pretty comfortable saying this will be the last time, this will be the fewest amount of games we ever have non-conference at home. I think you'll always see 5 or 6 moving forward.
The Tigers again playing this week, Central Connecticut State on Friday, Bethune-Cookman on Saturday, and then Monmouth on Sunday. And you're playing 3 schools from 3 different conferences. I'm assuming we're going to see 3 different styles of basketball.
Absolutely, just from some of my preliminary talks. I mean, Central's really fast. They can really, really score the ball. Explosive shooting it, explosive in the open court, and tough. So, for us, our big focus is on we got to get back in transition defensively, and we've got to have great ball screen defense, one-on-one defense to hopefully minimize their ability to shoot threes.
Then what do you expect to see from Bethune-Cookman?
Well, maybe a little bit similar. They're in Morgan's league, but I think a really good offensive club, spread you out and run some good ball screen actions quick. And then Monmouth's moved to the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference now, and they're picked pretty high in there, and they're the home team, and they've got a couple transfers.
And that was a big step up for them.
Absolutely, but they've got a brand new facility, and King Rice has done a very good job there. He inherited a tough situation and is turning it around and jumping up in conferences. They'll be a tough test. They're certainly a team that's a good mid-level club from a really good mid-level conference.
And you're playing them at home. A little different than the first 2 games where it's a neutral court for both
teams.
teams.
The first couple games, there'll be, there won't be a whole lot of people in the building. On Sunday, I'm sure there'll be a nice little crowd over there on the Jersey Shore in the afternoon.
So the Tigers with these 3 games. Then again, Goucher at home before Thanksgiving. And you and I talked before that you like to play these tournaments, and you will continue to do them from a year-to-year basis, correct?
Absolutely. We're actually going to play, as you and I talked about, in the Charleston Classic next year, which is a major ESPN tournament. All the games are on national TV, and we're pumped up about that.
And big names in that tournament, too.
Virginia, Ole Miss, Oklahoma State, Seton Hall, George Mason, Long Beach State, and Bradley, and the Towson Tigers. So we're pumped up for that.
No offense, but no Bethune-Cookmans in that one, are there?
Every night's a tough game at this level.
We have to take one more break, but we will be back with more of the Tiger Basketball Report right after this.
You know how fast you were going?
Yeah, about 55.
Where are you headed at such an appropriate speed?
Across the country to enhance the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network. How's it working for you?
Better than ever. How'd you do it?
Added cell sites, increased capacity.
And your point is?
So you can download music, games, and directions for the road when you need them.
Who's this guy?
Oh, that's Charlie.
You ever put pepper spray on your burrito? I like it spicy, but not like, oh, spicy.
You always like this?
You have no idea.
AT&T, the nation's most reliable 4G LTE network.
Mariner Finance is a consumer finance company, so we offer personal loans.
Mariner Finance is a great place to work. It's a great thing for anyone with the entrepreneurial spirit.
Everybody in every office has an opportunity to achieve and grow.
Be your own leader. Be a leader amongst the fellow coworkers in your office.
The training and development that we do at Mariner Finance is one-on-one. Someone who has been there, done it, experienced it.
There is no better feeling.
Learn with us.
Grow with us.
Run with us.
Brian Vickers, Aaron's sponsored driver. He doesn't just love racing, he lives it.
We got the paper! Woo!
His pit crew follows him everywhere. Oddly, so does his boss.
Red, sign that.
And his passion for racing is rivaled only by his passion for errands.
No credit needed. I'll take it.
Congrats.
Aaron's makes owning easy through lease ownership, so you can own the life you want.
Welcome back to the Tiger Basketball Report. And Coach, thanks for joining us. And before I say good luck, just remember one thing. You can't build a driveway without cement.
That's a great point, Spiro. It's a pleasure being here. And like Lightning McQueen says, I eat losers for breakfast.
The Tigers will hit the road and travel to Monmouth University in New Jersey for 3 games this weekend. You can catch the games live and for free right here on TowsonTigers.com. or on CBS Radio 1300 with myself and Jerry Bembry. Coverage begins Friday 4:45, Saturday at 4:45, and Sunday at 4:15 with the Coors Light countdown to tip-off. So if you can't make it up to Monmouth this weekend, be sure to tune in wherever you are on your smartphone or on your tablet by going to TowsonTigers.com. That's going to do it for the Tiger Basketball Report for this week. Join us again next week. For Pat Scarry, I'm Spiro Morekas. We'll talk to you soon.